Yeah. Playa T,
All right, like I said at the onset of the show, we got a guy that's near and dear to us, near and dear to the city for that matter, has a lot of influence in the city, actually raised a lot of people through his efforts in the street. You know, real talk. And we're glad to have him on board tonight. What you know about the Khnemu Group on Mr. Fred Ward. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Fred,
Glad
for
to
being
have you.
here. I really appreciate it, man.
I'm glad for the invite.
You know, and you're here on the premise of some real deep stuff, man. But we kind of want to take them back a little bit, you know, to so we could show what it was like. You know, like back in the days now, you had a sort of a reputation, man. You know, a bully, a street guy, a thug, a gangster. You know, and now, you know, since our candid conversations, a whole different person. You know, speak to that a little bit. Why the transition?
Well, I think it's evolution. You know, I sit back, it's funny because when I grew up, you know, my circumstances was a lot similar to what they are today. You know, single family, single mom. You know, my mom cried every day about bills. You know, so I thought in my mind that happiness was equated with money. And since I was the youngest of two, I felt like a man-child. So it was in my nature to try to go get the money because I thought that the money would make mom happy, which sent me to the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, obviously dad wasn't around. You felt like you needed to be the man of the house and go out and do. Now, you know, why is it that we had to go to the route of the thug, the gangster? You know, why is it that we didn't go the route of the school or anything like that?
Now, you know, that's interesting because what a lot of people don't know about me is that, well, some do. Those that know me from way back in the day, they know I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
You see? So, and even before I even went to the streets, I'll never forget, you know, I had prayed to Jehovah. That was the God I knew at the time. You know, because they was talking about life after death and the great tribulation, you know, but when my mother and sister were struggling, you know, I felt like, you know, maybe I need to just pray to Jehovah and tell him, you know, I'm going to give up my chances of, you know, living in this paradise condition,
Right.
you know, so they can have a little happiness now, and then they can go on off into the new tribulation. I'm going to take my punishment like a man, which was the foundation by which I even moved into the streets.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because that was a principle that I got from my mother. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that, you know, that made me who I am, but those same conditioning methods I have today.
Right.
See, I failed the 10th grade twice. A lot of people don't know that, you know, unless they went to school with me. And it was funny because I wanted to get signed up because I'm hustling. Okay. You know, back then in the 10th, I failed the 10th grade twice, but I'm on Ansel. And at the time, I'm making $10,000 a day.
Right.
You know, so after 2 years of being, you know, in the streets and learning the ways of the streets, you know, I wanted to get signed out of school. I told my mother, you know, sign me out. Sheila, because she's about the only person that has described me with one word. And she said if she had to sum me up, she would label me defiant.
Defiant.
Yeah, and I thought that was picture perfect because as I look and review my entire life, I have been defiant.
What are you defying?
Well, defiant. Well, first I was defiant with the abject poverty that I was faced as a child. I wouldn't accept it. I didn't want to accept it because I seen the world had a lot of things to offer, and I refused to be, you understand, without, you know, me and my family, without the things that I considered to be a part of the American dream.
Right.
So that was my first level of defiancy. Okay. You know, and then it was compounded by some other dormant things that lay with me. See, gangsterism, as it's been defined for myself, was really dysfunctionalism.
Okay.
But see, the streets label dysfunctionalism as gangsterism. You see?
Yeah.
So I went from portraying gangster ways and means to realizing that only through the lack of knowledge and education that I had and some of the other dormant things.
Did you think like that all the while, like I'm a gangster, or was it you was just living in the moment doing what you had to do?
Well, no, you know, I was raised like so many of our youth are raised through television.
Okay.
You see?
Right.
See, I didn't have to wonder whether I was gangster. I looked on TV. You see what I'm saying? I seen the money. and they told me, you know, how to get the money. They told me if somebody don't pay the money, what to do to them too. You see?
Right.
You know, my teachers was, you know, the Godfather.
Right.
You know, New Jack City.
Right. I mean, we in our candid conversations, there would even seem like a lack of empathy at times. You told me when you can remember one time sitting on the bed. I hope you don't mind me revealing this.
No, no doubt.
You were sitting on the bed and you were praying, and your mom told you to put that away. Imagine what that'll do to you. Yeah. You sitting on the bed reading the Bible. I mean, that's the place you're supposed to take solace and comfort. You know, you look for comfort there, and you think you're doing the right thing by picking that up, and then your mom tells you to put it away. Yeah. You know,
yeah,
what did that do to your psyche?
Well, what I learned is because I got punished for everything I did. You know, it wasn't no breaks. It wasn't no, you know, okay, you know what, you didn't, okay, you made a mistake this time. You know, all right, don't do it again. No, I got punished for everything I did, and maybe because my mother felt that, you know, she needed to. Maybe she seen something that I didn't see at the time. But what I learned was that for everything that you do wrong, there's a consequence. Okay. You see? And so as I moved into the streets with an understanding that, you understand, if you do something wrong or you violate or you break a rule, then there's a consequence. Right. Whether I like you or not, whether you my friend or not, if you break a rule, I'm just going to look on the scale and say, well, you know what, this is punishable by this. This is punishable by that. And this is an extreme violation, which comes with an extreme consequence.
Right. What you know
I thought I was just following the rules.
Right. Following the rules. You know?
What we trying to do at the Khnemu Group with my brothers and my sisters, you know, I find it very difficult to unite brothers and sisters. You know, and I think that some of the reason why we can't unite is because we deal with different things like the rat versus, you know, the solid person. Mm-hmm. You know, those with money versus those that don't have money. You know, the young ladies that, you know, make their living from a street orientation versus those that went to college and maybe got a sorority. They in a sorority and they got a 9 to 5. They feel, you know, opposition. They feel diffidence between the two. Right. You see what I'm saying? Or you got, you know, even with title holders, you know, you got the other side of town. He from Harvard and Miles, and they from St. Clair. You know, we done got so bad where we even going block to block. Right. You know, we was neighborhood to neighborhood. Now we block. I'm from 117th, you from 116th. I'm like, you know, for real.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, in a global economy though.
Right.
You know, so we face a lot of obstacles, you know, and I ain't necessarily saying that I got all the answers, but I'm definitely willing to put some of the questions on the table.